Yes, hello. Today we're talking with the winner of the innovation track of the MariaDB Hackathon. And today we have here Aakanksha and Mihir, who submitted their hackathon submission, Adaptive Query Optimizer for MariaDB Vector. Welcome to this interview.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And from MariaDB side, we have here Kai Arne also, and I'm
Hello.
Great. So it will be interesting to get to know more about your hackathon submission. So, but start off, tell us what's your name and who are you briefly?
Okay. So my name is Mihir Phalke, and alongside with me is Aakanksha Singh. And we both are third-year computer engineering students based out of Mumbai. And together we have been working on various hackathons, and this is what interested us to work and start our journey in the open source. So that is why we submitted for this hackathon, and we are here.
Great to hear. And how did you hear about this MariaDB hackathon originally? What was the first touch to that?
So actually, we were looking for upcoming hackathons on the Hacker Earth page. And over there, we found the MariaDB Python's listing of hackathon. And alongside with that, we also were aware that MariaDB is a fork of MySQL, since we have MySQL in our coursework. So that is how we were confident about taking part in this hackathon.
Okay, I was just going to ask what was your first touch with MariaDB, but it's part of your curriculum.
Not really, but we had an exposure to MySQL. So that is how we were aware of MariaDB.
Okay, awesome. And did you know about vectors before the hackathon, or is that something new for you?
So since we have the exposure of working in various hackathons and building ML-related applications, so we were aware that what vectors are. And that is how we started researching more in depth about how they work internally and made our project.
Cool. And how did you arrive at this particular submission idea? I mean, it's not maybe the first thing that comes to mind, but how did you think of this?
Yeah, so we were looking at what were the problems that we could address when it came to the innovation track. And so when it comes to the building AI models and RAG systems, MariaDB already has implemented the vector data type as well as the HNSW indexing. So our solution, which was our idea, cost-based optimizer, it was an automated layer which could be built upon the HNSW indexing in order to help the developers find the solution which had the least latency. So we wanted to build something upon it and innovate something there. And so we went through a lot of the problem statements and issues. And
I think it's quite innovative to sort of compare how you do the index search with the vector and then doing other types of searches. I think that's sort of a fundamental question that somebody who's exposed to vectors for the first time, you have to ask yourself, so what good is this? I mean, couldn't I do it with other tools? And I think you are illustrating that very question.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose, is that your intent, or how did you, I'm also asking the same question, how did you arrive at it? Was that one of your considerations?
So our submissions, so when we were going through what were the requirements for building a RAG model, we felt that all the necessities are there already, but when we come, if there could be a way to calculate or statistically make the data, to be able to find the cost and then use this optimizing logic in order to help the developers with the solution already, so that they can focus on the building the code and building the actual the code implementation, not really having to worry with which method to go with, like whether they should be applying a vector first approach or like an SQL first approach. So there were ways in which we could use the power of SQL or the actual cost modeling and reduce the effort from the developer side.
So that's
Can you?
really interesting. And I would also add that MariaDB itself has sort of this dual where clause where you combine a classic where clause, which is just SQL based, with this fluffy vector based thing, so that you as the developer don't have to do all of the thinking about, well, now I do a pure SQL one and now I do a vector based one. So my question would be now, if I am a developer creating such an application, and you've now done a reference implementation or role model, how would you recommend the new developer who's having the same issues, same questions that you have been discovering there? How would you recommend that person to use your GitHub repository and to sort of kick the tires using your versions? What's the approach? Just installing it and kicking it around, or should it you be used as a base for their own code, or how can one best, as a MariaDB vector user, use your contribution, your hackathon contribution?
So basically, our vision with this product was to publish this as a Python library, which can be
Yes.
installed by the users, and then they can, import this particular library and start building upon this. We have tried to make this particular project or product in such a way that there's almost zero configuration for starters and for the beginners working with our ecosystem.
And do you expect people to contribute back? Like, do you think that there will be enhancements or extensions? And would you want them to be contributed as pull requests?
Yes, so there are quite a few enhancements which can be done within our product. First one being that uh, right now, the threshold for calculating the selectivity is set to a default value. But for various applications or for various different ways of using this, in those cases, we require a dynamic value for the selectivity threshold. So adding a machine learning layer to that can be done as a future enhancement, and we are trying to do that as well from our end, but we are also open for other people to work on this as a PR.
Okay, so you are actively encouraging contributions, and you will devote some energy into focusing on them and commenting
Yes.
upon them. That's great. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, and as a hackathon submission, your submission also had some great strengths. It was very nicely laid out with Jupyter notebooks, and the explanations and documentations were really nicely done. And also when we shared it within MariaDB, I found out that there was actually an issue ticket in the MariaDB Jira that explained this particular challenge. So you actually, it was the problem has been stated, and you've provided a solution to it. So those are great parts of this. But what was it like to participate in the hackathon, and what could we do better next time we organize one?
First of all, the experience was amazing for us. The constant support from the MariaDB team and the EMS sessions which had been conducted. So all of that was a very helpful things for us. Plus, the documentation of MariaDB was very clear. So we had a great time, exploring that, and there was very few hurdles in understanding what MariaDB actually is. But apart from that, while we were building, we did encounter lots of bugs for us personally during our code. But we kept on going, and this project is now a reality. So we're happy about that.
Excellent.
Great to hear. Great to hear.
Yeah.
Well, there are and what are your future plans? Are you going to keep on working with databases, or what are your future plans?
So honestly speaking, like for us, what we want to first do is make this project and enhance it. As I said right now about the machine learning layer, that is something which we want to explore so that we get an exposure to both the databases and machine learning. So that is the kind of intersection we'd love to contribute to. And talking about the future in terms of our career, we'll always be, willing to learn. In today's world, everything is changing so rapidly, so that ability to learn and keep adapting is essential, and that is what we want to focus. But this was an amazing start to the open source journey, and we look forward to contributing to it.
Absolutely, and that's the nice thing with contributing to open source, that you can get others to use your solutions and contribute to a larger ecosystem. So great to hear that you enjoyed that.
And
thank you very much.
as we said in the Ask Me Anything sessions during the hackathon, we are super happy to shed some extra light, shine some extra light on your project. So we will link to it, of course, from this blog entry that we're writing on this, but also there will be a set of pointers to all of the contributions coming that are relevant and easy to use, and yours is obviously a top one amongst those. So we hope to give you indirectly much more attention to your contribution. So thanks a lot for that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for this interview.
The MariaDB Foundation is the global contact point for collaboration on MariaDB server. Our work is made possible thanks to the support of our sponsors.